store of, what's the name of the store, brother?
Food and Fuel.
Well, this is the brother that store was firebombed or vandalized, I would say. Would you state your name?
My name is Martin. My last name is Honorable NUH.
Okay. Okay, and would you explain like what went on at the store?
Sunday morning, I usually come in around 7 in the morning, and I came in the morning. I saw fire trucks outside, and I was pleading. I was saying, I hope this is not my store.
Right.
It turns out that my store was on fire. Somebody lit it up.
Oh man.
Everything inside is gutted.
Yeah, this brother's from this is one of our brothers from Nigeria, from the continent. And are you the only black person around here?
That's right.
He's the only black person. Wow. And so who owns the stores next to you? Asians? One Asian?
And then the pizza is owned by a white guy.
Okay. Okay, and I was thinking maybe it might have been some type of conspiracy or something to run you out of business, because you have a gas station, I see, also. Yeah, how you doing, brother?
Okay, I know y'all just heard live on the scene a little clip that King RYCHUS had got, when it comes to Minneapolis on the south side, that a brother's business was firebombed, and the only thing I can make of it is they want to make way for either they don't want brothers having prosperous up and coming businesses, or like the title of this particular live stream, gentrification. They want to make way for something new versus a person that may don't want to sell to the city or whatever buyers coming in to try to get that particular property. But I'll let RYCHUS take the mic on this particular thing, because he got something to say about it.
Yeah, peace. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I've been on the mic, but glad to be back. Man, Rick. And I ran across the story like a couple weeks ago. I heard it on Care 11.
Okay.
And I thought it was, I found it to be my interest to go talk to the brother, because I'm a part of that community too. Because actually I went to the high school over there, Washburn High School.
Okay.
And what the story was on Care 11, on how this man had a relationship with the students. He had a close-knit relationship. So the students, they were on the news talking about raising money to help him, get back on his feet.
Right.
Because his insurance company bailed out on him. So I found that to be kind of odd. I'm like,
right, you paying your premiums, and then
I didn't know you can have a business without having insurance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I decided to go talk to him, and he said he's been vandalized a couple times. Caught the guys, some Caucasian or white kids, on camera. He said the authorities is not investigating. They're not, really getting back to him on, So I basically told him, like, hey, we have a history, us Africans in the diaspora. That's what we are, diaspora Africans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In America, we have a history of dealing with these people when it comes to integration, equal, opportunities, human rights,
right?
You name it. When we rise to a certain level in the society, they come and tear it down. You know what I'm saying? So when we integrate into the society and become and develop an equal playing field with them, when they see that we're about to rise, or if we rise above them, they find ways to either pull us back or to knock us out the box completely. And you can just check the record. Don't believe me. I mean, we can go run the list from Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson,
right,
Prince,
yeah,
the list goes
Tupac,
on. Right, hey,
countless, Whitney, all of them.
Hey, we can just run the list from then to now.
Right,
it's like it's undisputable, irrefutable, and deniable facts.
Right.
So this ain't something I'm making up, because I live it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I come from a predominantly black community in Minneapolis. At one point in time, the central community was a tight-knit community with black businesses from Lake Street to 38th Street, from Chicago to Nicollet to Chicago Avenue or Bloomington,
Right.
for that matter. So it's like I know because I grew up in that community from elementary school to high school.
Right.
So it's not a mystery to me. So, but I see what's going on because I saw them destroy our community. I saw them gentrify it, and they used desegregating the schools for their reason for tearing up our community and building up, keeping their communities intact. So they started by closing our junior high schools, Bryant Junior High School. Then they closed our high school, Central High School. And they started to close down our businesses.
Right.
I watched it all unfold, under the skies of desegregating the Minneapolis public school system. Okay. So, and they basically tried to do it over North.
Yeah.
Remember, they was almost got North High School.
Yeah, they almost did. Yeah.
But it didn't work. So on that note,
But I will say this: with North High School, is nothing like it used to be back in the 90s and 80s. It's operating on like shoestring levels. It used to be a big giant campus with maybe 1,500 within the school. Now it's
dwindled down.
Yeah.
So that's where we at, in the Twin Cities,
Now, a couple people, Rashad said, "What's going on, brothers?" And then Chosen One said, "What's up, brothers?"
Yeah, peace.
Yeah, so I'm quite sure. I mean, y'all can weigh in too. I know it's gentrification going on within your communities, and I heard it from the sister. She said, and it made sense what she said. She said, gentrification, all it is colonization on steroids. That's all gentrification is. It's just like colonization, but it's on steroids. It's like, you think like, why are these particular businesses popping up for pandering to a certain creed, but nothing for the people that's been within this community for ages.
Well, I'm gonna put it in its proper context, for everybody can relate to. Gentrification is nothing but a form of white supremacy.
Okay.
That's what it is. Okay. So if anybody, understand the English language, and it's layman in its proper terms, that's
True.
what it is. It's a form of proper white supremacy, at its finest. Systematic.
Right. Just like for certain things for housing, you got to make 3 times the rent and all that kind of stuff.
That's what
it's the way to keep people out.
It's called redlining. So, and that's our main fight, against the system of white superiority or white supremacy, capitalism, imperialism.
That too.
This is our fight, This is what this is our pressing, the poor, the black, the brown,
Yeah, pitting all the
red,
different creeds against each other. So,
and we're all fighting against this form of supremacy, which happen to be white supremacy.
Oh, Lisa Smith said, "Good evening." Matter of fact, Lisa Smith, I had her and Rashad on an actual live stream. They essentially took it over. They were conversing, and she said a lot of positive things about you speaking, putting things on people's heads.
And well, that's my duty. I mean, I guess in life, once you live long enough, from your childhood, your adolescent stage, and you grow into adulthood, you sort of find yourself, you find your purpose, in life, and then you sort of express that, and I just realized that I have a way of expressing myself,
Right.
And teaching what I know to people that don't know certain things like I do. So
Right.
there's certain gifts we're all given, but some people have a certain way of delivering that message, or that, or expressing that gift. So,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I learned that when I was like 12.
Huh.
And it's maybe funny when I used to gather my cousin used to come over to my grandmother's house, right?
Yeah.
And I had my little Richard Pryor tape, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, which I knew I wasn't supposed to be listening to, but I would memorize all of Richard Pryor jokes. So when all my cousins came over, I would quote all his jokes. I'm about 11 or 12 years old doing this.
Yeah.
Right? So that's when I realized that, as I got older, that I had a certain, a gift of gab. And
Right.
I knew how to, um, um, put certain things, in the atmosphere, not, as far as, history and, certain events and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's just who I am. So I, whatever little bit I know, I don't know everything, but I'm glad to, be able to put a thought or something on people's minds.
Yeah, the spark
Exactly.
that.
So I appreciate that.
So let me see. So like I said, I mean, so far as YouTube, I'll say this: they've been kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They've been really funny about sending out notifications to the people. It's like people happen upon these live streams later, maybe days later, instead of them sending them out. So
Once you pop up?
yeah. I mean, like it's live now when
Right.
people's hearing us, but that's the people that happen to get the notifications. Is like what I'm saying is they're sending out the notifications at low percentile.
Oh, okay.
Versus when
You just
I
turn
put it up,
on
it's supposed to
and
go out to
be
everybody
able-
that's subscribed to
Gotcha.
it. But like once again, like you said, that's a part of white supremacy
Dealing
right
with,
here.
Yeah, dealing with the power structure.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Like they conveying the message that we may not want certain people to wake up and have a new train of thought.
exactly, be aware of their surroundings and what's going on around us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of the secret societies, the Illuminati. They don't want people to wake up and see
Right.
the truth. They want to keep you asleep. They want to keep you under their control.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But once you wake up, then they know they don't control you anymore. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? Yeah, so, and they do that through, religion, politics, all these little different little things, they have in the society to keep us in track.
Now, Lisa Smith said, King Righteous, do you guys have activists in your community that you can reach out to?
Activists. Okay, activists, like community activists?
Yeah, something like a community act. Someone that
Well,
I guess you can trust to go to, okay.
well, I guess, the way I see that from my perspective.
Okay.
All of our community, so-called community leaders, they're, a little older heads, like Spike Moss and, McAfee and them, whatnot, but I don't know. But they're not really reaching the youth. They're not really effective, like they were in their time. I mean, they'll bear witnesses because I talked to Spike and him. He's like, oh, the youngsters, they ain't listening. Well, you know what I'm saying? He'll say something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, hey, maybe you're not speaking their language.
Yeah, that's effective for them to listen.
So basically, it's like your rap is outdated. That's just like you coming, Grandmaster Flash or something, trying to rap to these youngsters.
What?
They ain't trying to
Speaking
hear
dinosaur language around
Exactly.
here.
That's ancient to them.
Right.
They want to hear Quavo or Future. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear, Grandmaster Furious 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So I call them, the over the hill bunch, in my, in my position. But I respect them, but they just over the hill.
Mm-hmm.
They up there, they have a message for the older heads.
Right.
The older heads are receptive
Yeah,
to
it
what they're
resonates
saying, as
with
far as
them.
community leaders.
Right.
But the younger generations, they're not trying to hear that old tactic, that old Negro spiritual.
We shall overcome.
Yeah, they not trying to be marching and sitting in and non-violent. They're not trying to. The younger generation is not trying to hear that.
Right.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Now, this generation, like the older generation, is more like, okay, we can't sit in the front of the bus and, we're going to march and boycott. But try that today. Try to tell these youngsters they can't sit here and there.
What you doing, nigga?
Right.
You sitting in my seat. You're going to find out.
Tell them they can't ride here and there and do this.
Right.
Nobody ain't going to be riding the bus.
Right.
Dealing with it. Right. So that's it's got to be a certain type of message that's going to reach these youngsters, that's going to rejuvenate their thoughts and their energy, because they're full of energy.
Right.
We are a very, spiritual people.
That's the main thing.
Music. So
Right.
if we're not on their level, we can't talk their language, then they're not going to be receptive to them. So to answer your question, our leaders, so-called leaders here in this city, are not real receptive because we still have a mass divide,
Right.
Say, right, from the elders to the youth. They're not connected. You know what I'm saying? So the youth is still doing what they do. The elders is just really on the sidelines saying that, well, what can we do
Right.
to reach it? So not really. Right? I hope so. Not no real effect. I mean, who can you? Do you know anybody that you can say is like a head out front, a leader in our community?
I can't
recall it. And I'm not being biased.
Right.
I'll say from the Christian community, from the Islamic community, even on the political community, we got somebody up there bootlicking and buck dancing and half baked, half fried, punctified, all that.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Keith Ellison.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the one at the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Who's buck dancing and shucking and jiving. When I know personally, and got photos with him and whatnot, that he's one of the brothers. When I say a brother, he's a Muslim brother. Yeah, they know he's a Muslim, but he's one of us.
Huh.
Okay, he was with the Nation of Islam 20 years ago, under the leadership of the Honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? I soldiered with him. I sat and ate with him. You know what I'm saying? We just stood post for the minister in at Des Moines, Iowa, me and Keith Muhammad. That's what I know about.
Okay.
But yeah, so since he shucking and jiving and bootlicking and buck dancing and doing what he doing, being the Tom that they want him to be.
Yeah.
He's selling out, saying he disavowed himself with the minister and whatnot. And so now look what's happening. He's getting his repercussion. They don't like you.
Right.
You still won't care how much you kiss their ass. Pardon my English. You still a nigga to them.
Right.
That's their perspective on you. Okay. While you doing all this
Yes,
job, you still the white man's nigga. So we ain't got no real leaders around here. The only people that can lead is yourself.
Yep. Or you
know
got
what I'm saying?
some tried, trusted family that you put on that type of level.
You got to look inside yourself and become your leader.
Right.
You the leader. Don't wait for nobody else to lead you.
No.
Right. Display or express what the Most High, the Creator, or whatever you call your deity has put in you, and express it.
Right. Now, Joe Frank came in and said, people. All right. Eric Robinson said, I decided to use my real name. I had the name chosen one, but anyways, I appreciate this topic. We as black people need to discuss more topics like these in our communities.
He chose to use his real name.
Yeah, because he came under a different name when he said, "What's up, brothers?" under chosen one, but
okay, he's still the chosen one.
Yeah, right.
You chose to use your government name.
Yeah,
right. That's not your real name. That's your government name.
Government.
Right. But
that's the one that represents the straw man.
You're right. But you are the chosen one, brother. We know that. We are God's children. Children. Both sides. No question. I agree with that.
Lisa Smith came back and said, "That's right. I believe you." And what you said, I guess, concerning Keith Ellis and everything.
Yeah.
So with Eric saying that, why do you think these topics aren't really discussed then in black communities per se that concern black people? about leaders and about how gentrification is, you know, going through like a wildfire, and you know nobody's saying nothing about it.
Well, shit, I would say that you know, we living in an information age. You know, this age of technology.
Right.
It's just so much distractions. You know what I'm saying?
In all directions.
So, man, sport and play. Put it in, you know, in simple terms. It's just so much sport and play that we're involved in. It's just like now, that's to take us and distract us from the real issues. What's really going on with us, just like Kanye.
Yes.
It's like he went up, you know, to the White House and got the buck dancing bootleg and all that. He started doing the same shit, you know, and, you know, doing his little handbowl.
Now that's another thing. A lot of people don't talk about this part. Yeah, Kanye was there, but also Jim Brown was there too.
Oh, most definitely. I'm not gonna leave him out. You know, he done turned into an old coon. He's the old Sambo now. You know what I'm saying? He spoke out against Kaepernick. Yeah, did you know that? Yeah, Jim Brown spoke out against him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm not really saying that Kaepernick really did some major event.
True.
But he took a stand for something. He kneel for a cause. You know, he didn't run across the field and, you know, throw a flag on the ground and stand. He didn't do none of that. He just took a stand for a cause that he thought was, you know, unjust treatment, you know, of African American. He even stated that why he wasn't speaking against the military and trying to be unpatriotic. No, he was just saying, I'm just not going to stand until black people get, you know, treated, you know, fairly or get some equal justice, you know, because we're being brutalized by police officers. He stated his cause. That's why he took a knee. And then he got blackballed, you know. So a lot of people don't know he opted out of his contract. It wasn't that they just cut him. He just, you know, the backlash was coming at him. And I think what I've heard that it was Denver Broncos was going to buy his contract out. They wasn't going to just trade him. Somebody had to buy his contract. So Denver Broncos offered him half of the contract. He was guaranteed $12 million. He had played for San Francisco. Yeah. See, we ain't no Rudy Poo or quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's, you know, Kaepernick's a heavyweight, you know, coming to that game. So what happened was, though, John Elway and the boys down there in Denver was like, yeah, we'll give you $7 million. But half of these cats in the NFL can't even compare or add up, check their stats to Kaepernick. You feel me? So he turned it down. Yeah, he's like, oh, shit. You know, basically, forget y'all. You know, I'm worth way more than that. You know, so he turned out. So then he copped out. You know, he got. But then they blackballed him, and nobody wanted. You know, they wanted to keep him out the NFL because of the noise he was making. You see what I'm saying?
To me, the blackball is real. And that's another part that people don't talk about. This blackballing. Like, I think back to with Barry Bonds. You know, it was that interview I caught that made me see it with TMZ, and they always catching some old controversy type of stuff going on. But one of them reporters ran up on Barry Bonds, is like, well, when did you retire? And he's like, I didn't retire. He's like, well, the guy's like, well, you're not playing for any teams. He's like, they're not picking me up.
Exactly. Yep.
That means I'm blackballed out this sport because I wouldn't go along with their, you know, program. Oh, you took steroids or whatever you was trying to go
what?
on.
Everybody else did too. And not only that, the steroids he took was recommended by his doctor. That's another thing they ain't telling you. The doctor recommended them steroids to him. You know, and he had proof of that. Y'all remember that whole story, man? They just and he just sort of just blew away with the wind, like you said. You ain't hear about him no more. You know what I'm saying?
Another one people forget about, when Spreewell said, I got to feed my family. When he said that, you didn't see him on no more teams no more.
Yeah, Terrell Spreewell. So yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies going on when it's concerning, you know, the black man. And it's just like, you know, we just got to fight, you know, fight for the hearts and minds of our people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about, you know, so we can liberate ourselves.
Now, Jeffrey Smith came in and said, evening, folks. What's going on, Jeffrey? But yeah, if y'all got any Any comments, any things you want to add to the conversation, go ahead. Throw it up in the chat room, and I'll be sure to read it. You know. But yeah, I think people just, like you said, it's so many distractions going on. Take time to see what's going on in your community,
right.
where you live, where
city,
you spend,
in your town.
Right.
We don't know. We don't deal with politics. You know, a lot of us deal with religion, but we don't deal with politics. So we don't really know what's going on. We don't know who our councilmen are, who our mayors, our governors. We don't know who our state attorneys. We don't know nothing about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, what would you, because since in November is around the corner, what you think about voting?
The next election? Well, basically, it's like this, man. Like I said, that's why I mentioned I've been following the Eyes on the Prize. I don't know if any of y'all remember the series they had back, I believe in the late 80s, 90s, early 90s, something like that. The Eyes on the Prize was about the civil rights movement, and it was about Martin Luther King, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee under Stokely Carmichael, CORE, all these different, groups that was fighting for our equal rights, fighting against Jim Crow laws, against segregation. You see, and what we don't understand as far as voting, and like a lot of this had to do with us being registered to vote, being able to vote. See, because when the Jim Crow laws was basically segregationist laws. Like these were people like Mike Wallace, Governor Mike Wallace of Alabama, Bull Connor, the police chief. They were stunt segregationists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means you niggas stay over there. You ain't got no power. We run shit.
Yeah.
We call a shot, and that's what voting was mainly about. This is what they were trying to organize the people, but it was the Citizens Council, the White Citizen Council. As our brother, the late Medgar Evers. I don't know if any of y'all brothers even heard about him.
Right.
Yeah, we so busy pumping pumping Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Yep.
You don't even know about Medgar Evers. Now, during in the heat of the moment, this was the brother that was really in the core and the center of things, trying to integrate old Mississippi, the college. He was the first brother that tried to, James Meredith tried to help him get into that college under these segregationist laws. When you got the White Citizen Councils, the Klansmen, and not only the governor and the Bull Connor, the head of the police chiefs and all that, backing these segregationist laws. So you basically got all these white racist people against you, trying to go against them. So that's what voting was really about, us having a voice. Okay?
Yeah.
A lot of us don't understand that. That's why we can, it's so easy for us now, since we've been so distracted, to be like, oh man, ain't got nothing to do with that. So basically you're saying, whatever's going on in my house or in your neighborhood or your city, I ain't got nothing to say about it. Whoever's gonna run it, just run it. So when these people get in office that don't like you and don't want you to have nothing, what do? They change the laws. They say, yeah, you can't have this, or you can't make a certain amount of money.
Yeah, you can't do this no longer.
Or we're going to raise the taxes. You don't know nothing about this. We're going to raise the prices on your homes and whatnot. You feel me? But you don't know the person that you care not to vote against, that didn't like you, didn't want you in this neighborhood, wanted to raise the taxes, wanted to lower your minimum wage, wanted to do all this stuff against you, your interests, whatever interests you had. You didn't have a voice. You didn't even state your power, because you feel powerless. Because you feel powerless because you feel it don't matter, and not knowing that very vote could elect someone who wants to raise your minimum wage. To lower your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Who wasn't a racist or a bigot.
Now tell me this: that type of voting for your local officials. Do you think that's more on point versus Washington will vote for like presidents and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, basically it's like it's all the same. You know what I'm saying? Politics is just like people who represent this ward. If you know what persons that's good for it, you're gonna vote for them. You know what I'm saying? the mayor of the city, his policies, whatever, he got planned for the city, or, your councilmen and whatnot, so it's basically like, okay, reason they don't want Keith Ellison, yeah, I may bomb him, that's my brother. I'll tell him this to his face. You know what I'm saying? He know me, and I know him.
Right.
He don't check my I know his record, and he don't check my record. It wasn't a nice one, but he know but we brothers, and it ain't no, and I'm not saying that in no ill effect. I'm just saying that because, when you with us, it's just like, if I'm with you and we get into some type of confrontation and you run off. I'm like, wait, and the next time I see you, I'm going to confront you. Yeah, man, you punked out on me. That's what I'm saying, as far as a brother. That's what we saying as a brother. Man, you punked out on us. Feel me? We got this confrontation with you, who are open enemies.
Right.
And you punking out and running. But they're hiding in the bushes. You know what I'm saying? Right. You feel what I'm saying? So from that perspective, yeah, he our brother. But the reason they don't want him in office is because, for one, he's black. Okay? Two, he's a Muslim. Okay? And three, he represents, just like I'm saying, policies to help us, to help minorities.
Rise up out of
exactly.
this
You know what I'm saying? And that's what the opposition don't like. So that's on that level, I can support him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we are brothers of the same faith, even if he has, shucked and jive and tap dance and tiptoe through the tulips and did the moonwalk away from Pharaoh. That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that later, but he's still our brother. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just so if that makes any sense. So instead of getting some stout racists up in there who basically like, we don't want to make this a sanctuary state. What the hell, y'all? Yeah, I hear these. That's political language.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Oh, we don't want no more immigrants coming here. That's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying.
They say Keith Ellison want to abolish ICE. That's that police operation they got to gather up the so-called illegal immigrants. Right?
Yeah.
Just a little silly talk that they be saying, racist undercover type stuff they be spitting out here. And if you don't know the language, then you ain't gonna even be able to read through the lines.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that's what we call trick knowledge. They use tricknology. That's what the white man's good at. He speaks with two tongues. He says one thing and do another. I'm saying, don't keep his word or nothing. Ask the natives. These motherfuckers broke. They calling the man with the forked tongue.
Right.
They broke every treaty they ever made with them. Okay, so hey man, it's been written.
Now Lisa Smith came and said, King Righteous, why don't you glorify your days when you was younger, getting money versus others?
Why don't I glorify them? That's what.
Yeah. Why don't you glorify it?
Why should I? Yeah. Why should I glorify that? Because where I'm at now, at this point stage in my life, it's like I'm older. I was a hustler or whatever, and I was taught to hustle and make money. But now that I'm older, I'm mature enough to know, when something I wasn't doing wasn't right and exact. So now I guess like I say, I'm at the point stage in my life where, I'm righting my wrongs.
Okay.
You feel me? So that's why I do what I do and I speak how I speak. Yeah, because I could be on here talking about all types of, pimp stuff and, and how I used to mac women and, and send them and have, and slanging and banging. I could talk about all, but that's not productive. That's not productive to not only, the youth, but to our community, our society.
Right.
That's what I did as an individual, so the reason I don't glorify it, because I didn't make those choices or that decision for, my family or my kids. I didn't say I was going to be a hustler because of my kids. No, I made that choice because of my own personal aggrandizement, because I was like, I needed money. You know what I'm saying? I needed resources. Not just, so when I gained resources, then, people around me or in my circle, like my family or my children, everybody, they benefited from it. They benefited from the fruits of my labor, but it wasn't something for me to glorify.
Right.
It was just a part of my lifestyle. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
We adapted, or we became products of our environment, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's not, a glorification to me.
Now with her saying that, to me, that's almost like a double question, because she basically asked you, why don't you glorify, your days of, when you were doing what you were doing within those days, But then she said versus others, so that would almost make me think, why do others that are older do that then?
Right. And I was thinking that too, because when the older cats like around my age, middle ages, whatever, who glorify, those are the cats that's really, as I can see, is still stuck in that mentality. They stuck on that level. They may be stuck in yesterday. They wish they can bring back, the 90s, bring back the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not happening.
Right.
You feel me? And I see that. And it's just like, I can come around these, right. So, so I feel you. Hey, I'm gonna bear witness, because when I go to the Elks, okay, you feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I see. I'm like, dang, these is cats that knew me when I was a shorty. Cats
Right.
that's older than me, but they stuck on a certain level of thinking. It's like they're in the Matrix. It's like time is standing still. It's like they got the suits on that they wore back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because they tight as hell. You know what I'm saying? I laugh at this shit, hey, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a kind of, I got a crazy sense of humor, man. I mean, especially like if you're around me enough, then you'll see.
It's relatable.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And it's just like, life is funny. You're just like, people are funny to me. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at them from a realistic perspective, you'll crack up. You feel me? You'll crack up. You just be like, for real? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. You're going to be wearing, you wearing that suit, or all you niggas is rocking Kangol.
Yeah.
That type of shit, you feel me?
Yeah.
Okay? It's just like, the little tight gold chains when we used the big rope, just things of that nature. And you can look at different little elements of the society, but then you look at an older cat and be like, man, come on, you gotta express a little bit more wisdom. I know you know a lot, so you should show a little bit more wisdom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you still stuck on the 80s. You still talking about what you used to have, and now you still talk about pimp shit. You still, you know what I'm saying? And really it's like, but it's not working.
Right.
You down here, you in a basement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just look at it from that perspective. It's just like, so I try to change not only with time, but with the environment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we live in a different day and age now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's 2018. Let's say 1988. You feel me?
But to me, almost like you said, that's almost giving youngsters a false read, because you talking all this, oh yeah, back in 88, I had it like this. But this is not 88. This is 2018 about to be 2019.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So when you look at it from that perspective, then it's just like you try to put things in perspective. You're not gonna just be talking about yesterday.
Right.
You want to deal with the reality now, what's really going on in today in this society. That's why I don't glorify that, because that's not, I'm not, really on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm more, entrepreneur.
Right.
Type, I try to deal more with the community. Create more businesses and services for the community.
Right.
And that's where I'm at now. Even though I had a good run. I ain't gonna lie, I had a good run in the game, good 30-year run, but by the grace of the Most High, I'm still around. So it's like, I'm not gonna talk about the past, because this is the best part.
Right.
The present. That's why we call it the present. This is the gift that God gave to me, that I can still be around and have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of not only what I've been through, but what I'm about to go through. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is the best part to talk about the now and the future. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't glorify the past. I try, and I guess once I realized that I grew up or became mature enough to understand that, I stopped dwelling on the past, because I used to dwell on the past a lot, about what I used to have, how many, cars and how much money I used to make, but no. As long as you keep dwelling on the past, you're going to be stuck, you know what I'm saying, in the past.
Right.
And not looking to the future to make progress. So I don't know if that answers the question.
I think it did. Now, Jeffrey Smith said, that's true. You have people that don't know how many branches of government we even have.
Right. Exactly.
And then Lisa Smith came back and said, you are more like a teacher is why that you are more like a teacher. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, that's real. I hear what you're saying. And you're right. I am a teacher. I consider myself a teacher, but I'm not a teacher as far as someone who teaches a certain curriculum. I don't teach in the public school system. I don't teach in the college or the university. I'm not lettered. I dropped out of high school in 12th grade. I could have graduated, but some unfortunate things came up, and I had to, take the back route.
Right.
But I do consider myself a teacher because, you mentioned that. I consider myself a RYCHUS teacher. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, a brother that's from the hood who gained knowledge of self, who studious in my own way. I study, I read books. I read a lot, actually. I like to listen to documentaries. I study history, and to be honest with you, if I had graduated or got letters, I probably would have been in college. If I had went to college, I probably would have studied sociology because that was my interest.
Yeah.
It's always been my interest. Study, different
interactions.
Elements of the society.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, but I consider myself a RYCHUS teacher, and, I guess you could say that, that hood scholar. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
And then she said, you have more at stake in local levels. You have more at stake on local levels than you do on national levels, I guess, when it comes to like voting, I guess she's speaking on.
Yeah, so basically, that's why if we vote, we should, vote under, of the pretense of, okay, I have an interest, in this particular area, whatever, whether it's crime or, health care or whatever, dilemma you may, have. Or,
where the funds of the community is going towards or whatever.
So we should take that in consideration when we do cast a vote, that this is the reason why I'm voting for this individual or that individual. You know what I'm saying? Not just because you just don't vote just to be voting,
Yeah.
You vote for a cause, not just because. They say go vote,
Now, this is an interesting question. Now, Jeffrey Smith said, are you selective who you provide information to? ? Because sometimes when you inform individuals, they become inferior.
Who? I don't get the question. Who becomes inferior? You saying I make them feel inferior?
I guess because it's like it's almost too much for them. So.
Oh no, not at all, man. It's basically like, no, it's never too much because just because I'm speaking, that don't mean that everybody that's under my voice is going to be either receptive to everything I'm saying.
Right.
It might be something that I say that might catch their ear.
Right.
Okay, so it's not everything I say that is going to make somebody feel inferior, because some people may say, well, yeah, that sounds good, but I ain't really feeling that. But then it's something I could say that they can relate to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, okay, but I'm feeling that. So no, they're not inferior. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever I'm saying, everybody can draw from it. And it might be something,
within that.
Within whatever topic I'm talking about, that they might say, well, this, I can feel that, and discard the rest.
Right.
If that's the case.
Yeah.
So no, it's no inferior, no big eyes or little U's, and no, it's not no inferior type of, thing at all. It's just because knowledge is infinite. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge is, not stagnant.
It's forever expanding.
It spreads throughout, the universe. You know what I'm saying? You can send, energy into the, into the
what we know
atmosphere.
within this moment right here, we're gonna know something else in the next given moment tomorrow when the sun comes up. So
just by words is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Just through these airways, we're able to communicate, or I'm able to express how I feel to
all over the globe.
Right. Right.
From Australia to Italy to somewhere in Europe. everywhere.
And who am I? I'm just a, you know, a little homie, you know, little man in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Expressing how I feel. But like you said, my voice is going all over the globe.
And then Jeffrey agreed. He said, exactly. Now, Lisa Smith said, how should I take being called a clown by someone who is my elder, yet they're doing... Wait, she's saying, let me read her. She says, so how should I take being called a clown by someone who is my elder, yet they're not doing so hot in their life?
Well, that's simple. You don't have to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean one next to it. Yeah, that's words of wisdom I got from my grandfather. Yeah, because you don't got to do too much. You know what I mean? If you saw a clown, basically it's like this, sister. If you saw somebody running down the street looking like Ronald McDonald, right? Literally. What would you say? Look at that clown. Okay? You ain't got to condemn it, right? So it don't matter, you know, what somebody thinks about you. It's how you think about yourself. You know, it don't matter what the next person say. You know, once you overcome that, you'll be that much more above.
But you know what? I guess people feel certain ways because when people get on that bully pulpit and
that's
preaching
like,
to the ooh.
Yeah. It's just like I was telling you about, you know. Yeah. I was, you know, every time you ask me about it, what I say, oh man, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? But and might keep pushing the issue. You know, because he's trying to bully you or force you to go there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, yeah, that's lightweight. That's lightweight shit to me. So I just be like, you know, I don't pay that no attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would say you just got to look at that, man. You just got to say, hey, you know, only God can judge you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no clown judge you. Either God going to judge you or the clown, you're going to let the clown judge you. You feel me? You know, so, so that's my words of wisdom on that, you know.
Man, you might have to reiterate that one about the glass. Say that again so people make sure.
You don't have to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean one next to it. That's all. Don't even, because if you was thirsty, you ain't gonna grab the dirty glass. You're gonna grab the clean one.
Right.
You feel me?
That's true.
Right. So, don't even waste any sleep on that. You know, because you know your worth. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, let's take it even a step further because, you know, like I said, a lot of youngsters get misconceptions from people that are elders that are throwing out these terminologies. What's your real true terminology of when they throw that word clown out?
Right. I don't want to say no names. But when I listen to the elders, and just like I said, that applies to me too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a little older than like that. But it's like a lot of my young homies, who I see was like 5 years younger than me, and I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, you know what? I was like, those that was born after me, I said like 5 years. It wasn't, you know, that's like, I'm like a big homie to him. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, because when I was 5, that's why I was doing this logic. I'm talking, you know, I talk to myself.
Yeah, you got to.
It's like, and that's what we all should do. Because if anyone who says anybody that talks to themselves is crazy, they're crazy.
Right.
Okay? Because really who you're talking to, that inner voice, is the power within. That's the God within. That voice that you hear when you think, you know, you by yourself, or you in the quiet of your home.
Yeah, and you sitting there and contemplating.
Yeah, that's the God in you. See, it's only voices outside of you is the Satan or the devil that's whispering, telling you to go contrary to that voice that's in you. See, right? You know, you don't need a pastor or a priest or imam or none of that to reach God. You don't need an intermediate.
Right.
You can reach him yourself. Just pick up the phone and dial him. You can talk to you. Right. So that's, you know, that's just me. So, you know, and Michael said it. He said it best. I'm talking about the man in the mirror. You know what I mean? You know, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? You don't see the man across the street.
Right. You see yourself.
You. That's what I'm saying. So I'm asking him to change his ways. There you go. So you just, you know, quote our late great. But the question you asked
about the clown, basically the real definition of that.
Yeah. So it's cats who may try to define people, you know, and say, yeah, they just that and the other. but it's like you're not at, you're not at that level. And before we got on, what was I talking about? The elders.
Yeah.
Okay, you feel me? Yeah, those that came before us, or that they're not as receptible,
Yeah,
in the community. You feel me? Because of what? They're not speaking the language,
Right.
and the brothers are not relating to them, like they would of their time. You feel me? That was cool for their time.
Yeah, for their moment.
The 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
But for now, from this new millennials, the millennials, no, you gotta talk their language. Okay, so what you're saying is just really, that's your perspective. Okay,
Right.
And that's
Let me bring it down to maybe a level where younger cats could kind of understand it. We already know older cats will understand it, but let's say interactions between men and women. A young brother may get more action because he got youth on his side, but an older brother may have more successful rates with them same ones that he's trying to, the young ones trying to go after, because he has wisdom on his side. Would you agree with that? It's two different type of like, yeah, you got youth, you got quantity, but when you're older, you got quality. They're both trying to get one thing, but one comes with a different type of you get more quality versus she do this, I'm having issues with this person all the time, I got this one, you got a whole bunch of headaches, versus I got quality individuals I deal with.
I don't know, man. That's tricky because the youth is more powerful than we can imagine. They just don't know it. Okay, the youth, man, it's just like if these brothers, man, if these youngsters, came together. If there was some way that we had the solution to bring these youngsters, the masses of our youth together, and these preachers, and get the elders to teach the truth about Jesus, because that's what they're teaching. If you just teach the truth about Jesus, the masses of that society, from the elders, and our people on that level, and then the youth, we can connect the two, basically what I'm saying, we connect the elders and the youth, and if we can separate ourselves from all this religious dogma.
So essentially, you're saying you can eradicate that Willie Lynch.
Yeah. Basically, so, and while you asking me that question, so I'm like, okay, you can't really separate the two because we're one people.
That's true, but what I'm saying, we operate in a system where it's separated. Well, I'm saying that because I run into these questions all the time.
That's how the system has designed it, though.
That's true.
My point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not right. I got the Willie Lynch letter. You know what I'm saying? Where it basically states, separate them, put the old against the young, the light skinned against the dark skinned, the tall against the short. Okay. Yeah, this is their plan, divide and conquer. As long as we're divided, as long as we got the elders saying, whoop-de-woo, these youngsters,
we're never gonna rise up.
We're never gonna come together.
Right.
No, that's my point. And not so much that we're not gonna rise up. We're never gonna be. We can't rise up because the elders ain't gonna get no further than what they are, because they stuck in that mentality.
Right.
Yeah, I'm this, I'm that, and I used to. Big men. What?
And then the young, I got youth.
No, exactly.
You old.
Yeah, exactly. It's big me and little you,
Yeah.
and then the youngsters like, forget you.
Yep.
Old and whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we this.
Right.
And look, then you got a whole gang of them like, yeah, we ride. This our hood.
Right.
You ain't our said, you ain't our. So we divided. So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, so it's got to be a way that we can bring all these fractions, together and create a whole. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, that's the best way I could put that, man, for real.
Now, Jeffrey Smith came and said, I believe if young people are exposed to more teaching, progress will be inevitable.
Yeah, most definitely. But that's what I'm saying. If the elders got to be willing to say, well, okay, instead of downing them, we gotta crown them. We gotta let them know they the greatest generation that we have ever produced. These youngsters,
Right?
Because for one, they're young and they're fearless. See, this is the generation our grandmothers and grandfathers was praying for. But the only problem is they done divided us so that we taking that energy out on each other. We're taking that anger and that frustration on each other. We're killing each other. We used to know who our enemy was. Now we don't. See? We turned that blindly, on ourselves.
Now, Jeffrey also came back and said, check out Black Boy by Richard Wright.
Right.
His experience with Jim Crow South. Very interesting book.
I heard of that book. Yeah.
I'm about to look that one up right now.
Yeah, but I got a whole bunch of ammunition for you, man. Shit, if you need some information, let me know. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of information. So yeah, and we just got to tie the two, man. We got to tie the elders to the youngsters. You know? And that's the older men for counsel, young men for war.
Okay.
You feel me? You're right. Okay, that's what it comes down to. It's just like, we have that threshold. And that's why I believe the Most High, spared my life, kept me safe and sound, kept me around. Because now I got a job to do. That's the civilized, the uncivilized. Teach what I know to those that don't know.
Right.
That's my duty. And so I'm on that. When I used to be that young nigga out there.
Yeah.
I used to be that youngster. You know what I'm saying? That was fearless. And I was thinking about this earlier. Like, I'm about to ride on this pig. That type of attitude. You feel me?
Right.
Feel not thinking of the consequences or nothing. But God spared me. See, because now I can kill more devils now being alive than picking up a gun. You feel me? And sacrificing everything. You see, just instead of killing one devil, I can kill 1,000 of them just by being alive. You feel me? Yeah. And speaking this truth. That's when truth comes, falsehood vanishes. Yes, damn me. So that's what I'm saying. So that's where I'm coming from.
We've been chopping up some different areas. And I have to say on this particular one, I mean, it's still kind of early.
Right.
Ain't been nobody come in trying to, sidetracking, saying no sideways stuff.
No agents that popped up.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, it's people in here. Voice what you want to say, and we'll try to answer you to the best of our ability.
So basically, so making my transition from a young nigga in that sense to an older man, OG. Basically, now I know I got knowledge, not only street knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I got wisdom, and I got understanding.
Right.
Okay. Now I can put all this together, and I can share this back to the youngsters, so they don't make those mistakes I made.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I can't glorify the street life. Okay, I can't glorify that. It is what it is.
Right.
So those that's involved in it, I understand. It's a survival tactic. Yeah, so it means they might not want to go work for $5-10 an hour. They gonna take half of that anyway with taxes. So I understand. You see, but I can't glorify.
You can't glorify.
That. You feel?
But if you're doing it, you're doing it.
Hey, you gotta know if you're doing it. You gotta know there's gotta be you gotta have an exit route.
Right.
There's gotta be a way out. So whatever you're doing, slanging, pimping, robbing, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey man, you gotta know that for every decision you make, there's consequences behind it.
Waiting.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm here to tell you. Now, I'm here to give you an exit plan or an exit route. Okay. Right. I can say you get to take this door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. Okay.
So to me, when you say people's making a way, it's people that's done put their foot in it. It's people that's living it, and then there's people that's trying to exit out of it. So those 3 stages, they're all going through different things.
Different stages. There are different levels of development, I'll call it. You know, because I know people who just, you know, who know me, you know, for 30 years, you know, and just saw me active in the game and never, you know, really, you know, dreamt about doing the stuff I was doing. Now they trying to get their feet wet this late in the game.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. But it's like, okay, but it's just like now you're seeing, you know, you reach the point in your life where it's like, okay, this could be a means of, you know, survival. It's a survival tactic.
Right.
But you're just not now realizing that. See, but when I've been demonstrating this for the last 20, you know, some years, you feel what I'm saying? Like, this is what I've been trying to tell you. So, because I chose not to go that route, the 9 to 5 or whatever. You know, I gave my position up so the next man can have that position. You feel me? So I'm like, that's not for me. That's for, you know, the next man.
Right.
So yeah. So just coming from, you know, the underworld or the street life, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it really taught me how to become a entrepreneur.
Okay.
Become a free and independent thinker, you know what I'm saying, and create my own businesses.
Right.
That's what it taught me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what they are, the young entrepreneurs. They're just doing illegal stuff.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're no different than those, you know, in the corporate world. Those people on the the ghetto streets is no different than those people in the executive suites. They're just doing different things on that level.
Right.
On the street level. You know?
Man, well, we've been on here an hour, so
Right.
nobody got nothing else to say. I think we'll wrap it up. This has been a particularly good live stream.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting.
Y'all been asking about Righteous, and hey, he appeared, you know. So that lets you know what energies y'all sending out into the universe. You're making it happen.
That's right. So, but I would say this. So whatever it is, you know, we have on that the Most High. I like to say the Most High, because I don't like to put,
Yeah.
you know, titles on our deity.
Oh, you're coming from this, or
No,
yeah.
no, whatever, you know, you call your higher self, your creator. You know what I'm saying? You gotta reach out to look inside self, and whatever that voice or that deity, you know, expresses to you and wants you to bring out, we got to take heed to that. We can't shut that voice down, because that's really like our calling.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's what's going to bring the best out of us. It's what's already in it. It's in us. You know what I'm saying? To rise.
Yeah, we just got to bring it to
to
the
be
forefront.
leaders. Yeah, to be, you know what I'm saying, to be rulers. But we got to bring it out. We got to develop it. And this is something I tell my children. You know, they're adults, you know, they ain't babies, no, they ain't adolescents, they're adults, you know, and I tell them this to this day, you know what I'm saying, the choices you make, just know, there's gonna be consequences behind every choice you make. I don't care what you do, you do something with your life, you know what I'm saying, because nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
And like you said, that's where that talking to yourself comes in. Like, man,
you
do I
gotta
really
evaluate. You gotta look. You gotta do some soul searching.
Right.
That's what it's called. It's soul searching.
Right.
Okay. And once you look inside your soul, you'll find the best. You know what I'm saying? You'll find that diamond in the rough. You know what I'm saying? So at the hell with what the clown niggas are saying. You know what I'm saying? What these other cats are saying about you.
Right.
You know? You gotta look inside yourself and say, I'm the best. I was born to be great. You know what I'm saying? And express that and rise above these silly, you know, emotions and rise above the condition we in. You know what I'm saying? Because we were born to be rulers. You know, we're descendants of kings and queens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're descendants from greatness. If you're an African American, and you know, and we're descendants from great people. You know, we're more than just. We wasn't just slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what they called us. That's what they made us.
That's why they gotta keep playing that out.
Yeah, that's why they keep playing that out on us.
Yeah.
To keep us subservient, thinking we're second-class citizens.
Right.
You know, when really, in all actuality, the black man and woman outnumbered the white man 11 to 1 on the planet Earth.
On the planet. Not, studies show in the U.S. it's only this amount of. Nah, we talking about on a global scale.
Right. So, you know, so I'll just, leave y'all on that note,
Now, Jeffrey came in and said, knowledge is power. You have to put yourself in a position to win. A lot of youth and elderly stop at the pigmentation of one's skin, quotations of white people.
Yeah. Well, we know they're not really white people, you know, so that's just for communication's sake. You know what I'm saying? We know they just crawled out the hills of caves in Europe just a few days ago. They're really Caucasians. Okay,
Yeah.
they ain't white. That's not even such a, you know, that's not a nationality. That's a white supremacist ideology. Whites. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but, you know, that's for, but everybody don't know that. Everybody's not on that level. So this is what they show us. We hear white in the society, and you know, from the radio to the television.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody don't know these terms. And these
That's
people,
true.
I can even get deeper. The biblical term of them are the Edomites. Okay? Yeah, they're not white. They're Caucasians. Yeah, they're Edomites. They're a grafted race of people. Okay? Yeah, so, you know, I mean, so, but, hey, we can't you just talk to someone that's blind, deaf, and dumb just, you know, with these scientific and political terms, because they're not going to be able to relate.
Right.
So you got to speak to them in layman terms. This is what they know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't feed a baby steak.
Right.
They don't have teeth. You know what I'm saying? You got to feed them baby food. You feel me?
Lisa Smith came in. She said, "I love King Righteous, one of my favorites."
Right. That's peace.
And,
I love you too. I love you. That's peace.
And then Jeffrey said, laugh out loud. I guess
Right.
when he was going in about the Caucasians and the hills
it's
and
all
things.
real, man. Hey, man, that's all we got to do, people. We just got to study to show ourselves approved, man, you know, and just, you know, you put all these clowns to rest. You know what I'm saying? Just study just facts.
Right.
You know, get dates, numbers, you know, historical facts, and be like, hey, this, you know, give them sources.
Yeah.
Go look it up. Don't
Right.
believe me.
Don't believe me.
Yeah.
Go look it
Go
up.
look it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just study, man. You know, I don't care if you study the Bible, Quran, or whatever, historical books. It's all information. Information is powerful.
Study of thyself. Yeah. All
The
that.
more you know, the further you go. You know, and the further you grow, the more you know. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I'll leave y'all with that.
Hey, I'm glad y'all join in. Hey, the people that come in on the replay, hey, this has been a good live. Hopefully you click them bells so you get the notifications to catch a live, and you get to ask King Righteous whatever's on your mind. You can put them in the comments after the replay done went up, whatever. We'll try to put some things together and run with a topic from there.
Right, keep it coming.
Right. But Joe Frank said, cool, we up out of here.
Peace.